Hi everyone, Dave McKeown here. I hope you're having a good week, whatever you're doing. This is our bite-sized episode. We're going to revisit one of our shows that we did earlier in the year. In fact, it was the first show of the year when we had a brilliant guest on with us, a guy called Webb, who was part of the Elevation Church team for over a decade, and his main responsibility was around church expansion, and he helped to grow some of those locations, some of those sites in the different cities that Elevation Church are currently involved in. He's an awesome leader, and I want to encourage you to listen to this bite-sized episode. It's just a few minutes, but we're going to revisit this idea of something he talked about in the show, which was around how do we keep energy in our teams, or how do we grow a healthy team. And Sweb, known to his friends, Webb, shared 5 key things that I think will help you as you seek to grow your teams and grow your church. I hope you enjoy.
I mean, the first thing is make it clear, make it plain. I pick on the phrase cast vision a lot. And if you've been on Instagram, follow me a few times, you've even seen me make fun of it. I just think it's a funny word. It's fine. But a lot of times people just use the word and they don't actually put the meat around it. And so you cast a fishing pole and you to go fishing, and you may cast food or seed, but that's the only other time you use the word. And then when it comes to casting vision, people think just saying the phrase casting vision is giving vision. And so I just don't think that's plain. And then when they do that, they say big words. We're going to be 10,000 people in the next 10 years. And there's like 6 people behind them, and that's it. It sounds good, but then that's like, there's a line in there somewhere where it goes from vision to like myth and hope and wishes and almost just like unicorn and rainbows kind of vibe. And it's not plain. And I think at first, just what are we doing? What's the win? Show me the kind of the inline, show me the goal. What are we trying to score? Just help me with that. And then I'll fight, for everything to do that. And people need that clarity. I need that clarity. I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody else. I need that clarity at any level of organization. Just tell me in this seat, how can I win? What can I push for? What can I fight? What hill are we taking? So I'd make it plain. The other thing is I'd want to go with them and lead with them. Sometimes it's pushing from behind. Sometimes it's pulling from the front, but it can't be like sitting in a penthouse, an executive suite and just looking at reports and saying, hey, that number needs to get up. And so there's something powerful about going with them. I think Moses did that in his unique expression. Joshua did it in the field. So different people did it, but they were both with them. And in that journey, Jesus did the same thing. He's on the journey with them. He didn't sit up in heaven and just kind of point and stuff. He's like, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come down. We're going to hang out for a couple of years. We're going to go together. And I think that's really helpful if you can do that. I think if you can keep a good attitude, that sounds really simple, but the more specific way is be grateful. Gratitude, our pastor Stephen told us this years ago, gratitude is never silent or invisible. So you can't actually just have an attitude of gratitude without an action of gratitude, and that'll move people. You'd be surprised at how many doors open for a person who's grateful and shows and exhibits gratitude. You've seen this. I hopefully don't have to go too much in depth on this, especially you two guys have seen this, but I know even your listeners have probably seen this work out well. I'd want to do that. 4th thing I do personally, I got so much traction out of this and I still do. And I need to always get better at it. I don't think you arrive at this, but is encouragement. Now, again, that sounds real fluffy. Sounds like something your grandfather would say. But man, it's really, I find it to be really powerful. Now, encouragement doesn't work if it's like, hey, good job, buckaroo. You can't do a, butt pat like after a football game or something. It can't be that. It's got to be specific. It's got to be surgical. Like, hey, listen, man, that 3rd song, I saw what you did to take that energy and move it this way and adjust when that drum shield fell down on the stage. Like you start getting specific. That's a real example, by the way. But that's real specific because it tells people, hey, they saw me, which means I have value, which means they care about me, which means I probably want to do that better. Okay, let's do it again. Like you see how that all comes from like surgical specificity of your encouragement, not good job. And so I see a ton of traction for that. I didn't grow up with a ton of that. My parents are great. My friends are great. But the specificity part was like not always there. And so about 10 years ago, me and a friend, we sat down at Elevation. We were both relatively new and like, man, you know what? I think that guy over there needs a hug. He was just always angry. This other guy was. And so we eventually got to the point of just, what it was is he just didn't feel seen. And we didn't have a counseling session with him, but we got real specific and encouragement. And then last but not least, man, I would say, man, you got to cut some dead weight. And I'm coming up with these on the fly. I'm sure there's 10 other things I'd add, but but it definitely makes my top 5 of, I feel like a lot of good teams get drained when they know that they're pulling weight and this guy's not. And there's a grace, there's mercy. We don't fire everybody. It's very hard, for example, to be fired at Elevation. It's also very hard to get on staff at Elevation though too, especially back when I was there. So like, it's just, if you can kind of keep the order correct, it's good. But when it's necessary, we gotta cut dead weight, man. We gotta go. And I feel like you're going to drain a lot more people on the front end because you take your 99 for the one scripture out of context. And I think people do that in the wrong direction. He left the 99 for the one. Yeah, the 99 were cared for. They were good. They were on mission. So we went to pick the guy up. It's not the other way around where we water everything down for the 99 because the one, we don't want to have a hard conversation with him. And I've been drained watching people get promoted or get some sort of press, if you will. And they haven't done anything, but that'll suck the life out of people pretty quickly. And then you're having to fix a bigger issue. And that goes back to the cultural thing you were asking a minute ago. Just can you have a hard conversation? Can you hold people accountable? So that's a long answer, man. I kept talking. You got me going on some of my trigger spots there, man.
Great. Well, it's been amazing to have Webb with us on this podcast, and we look forward to seeing everyone again and speaking on the Church Explained podcast. Let me just mention, you can get the show notes at icon.church/open with also a load of resources for you there as churches. But it's been great to be together on the Church Explained podcast, and we look forward to seeing you next time in the jungle, season 2 of Church Explained podcast. We'll see you soon.